All right, I am going to go right ahead and just jump right into this. So, this is the start of my Black Nationalist channel. Do know you might hear a little lisp. It's because I have on my artificial crowns until my true crowns come in. So, you might hear me slur just a little bit of words. But the reason why I am doing this, first off, I want to thank Nicole from Nicole View for giving me this courage that I need, and also for her giving me the shout out to everyone, as well as Angry Man, because he also encouraged some of his followers to subscribe to me too. The reason why I call it the Black Nationalist is because our community needs this, and this is what Malcolm X has started for us. And basically, it is the political philosophy that means we carry on a political program, a re education for our people. We want to make sure that they become educated in the importance of knowing about our money. We want to make sure that we try to enrich our community, and also we want to be have the same mindset of warriors within our community, because right now that is lacking. The problem that I do see is how by our women leaving the civil rights movement to join the white feminist movement. And the sole purpose is not just to say, okay, here's the problem, but to provide some sort of solution that we can individually take and do for ourselves, because to me, that is what's important. This entire thing, you know, it's all about being responsible for ourselves. We want to make sure that we are responsible for ourselves. We know that everyone in the community will not be able to do this as a whole. So that's unrealistic. So I just want to jump in because I do know that there is an issue as far as with our black women in particular as to the mess that we see today. I'm sure we are all familiar with Gloria Steinem. With her, who is a CIA operative, and she basically is the one that helped cripple our family unit. And she made sure that she conveniently found herself a black feminist named Michelle Wallace, who basically did come out of nowhere. And unfortunately, with her, she created a book and it really attacked our black men. And she also went after as far as calling Harriet Tubman ugly and things to that nature, calling our black men stupid. Now, come to find out that over the years, that individuals believe that Gloria Steinem was the one who was the ghostwriter to that book, because Michelle Wallace, she had such a bad nervous breakdown, she went into hiding for 2 years. So that all happened around 1978, but as far as the second wave of the feminist movement, that did take place in the late um, 60s, as far as white women telling our black women that you are oppressed. And you have to really ask yourself, in what way were our black women oppressed? They were still independent, they were still doing what they had to do, and yet they were still happy with their men, even though they were under the heels of white supremacy, which we still are at that time. So you joined the feminist movement because you listened to the individuals who tickled your ears. And it's not a coincidence that we have the government that basically flooded our women to accept welfare. Because you have to remember back in the 1931s that it was about 4% of black women who were on welfare, because there were particular programs that white women, and as well as this government, white men that's controlled by, did not want our women to be on welfare. However, around 1969, I believe, that the numbers went up to 46% of non-black women. There's an article that I have found. It was an archive for the New York Times, and in there it pointed out, and I'm also going to post the website to it as well, so you could just copy the URL and paste it. And it says that, quote, one camp, which includes many members of the Reagan administration, argues that the nation's welfare system has encouraged families to split up and has led to a state of welfare dependency for generation after generation of blacks. Now, that was their goal, to set up this dependency. So you have to ask yourself why. If black women already had black men that was taking care of them the best of their ability, why would you want to step in and say, okay, we want you all to depend upon us? That obviously lets you know that that wedge to divide and to break down our family unit was on purpose. It was on purpose because we were very strong at that time. You know, history has it that if you want to bring down a strong household or a strong village, you go to the woman because she is emotional by nature. We are emotional by nature. Even those the religion they have used, you know, they know the best way so that the entire family become religious is to go through the woman because she will appeal to the heart of her husband and to her children. And the husband will follow and the children, they will follow as well. So it's not obvious that the white woman went to our woman. You know, this government, this system was already hard on our men. They denied them of a lot of jobs. They denied them of learning new trade. They denied them of that. You can truly look this up. You really can. But I always ask black women, what did you benefit from joining the feminist movement? Because you have to realize the feminist movement, they did not provide any, I want to say, jobs to our black women. They did not build any infrastructure for a black woman. The only thing that I see is how they took you away from the home and they left you destitute. The reason why I say they left you destitute is because there was a report from Samuel Du Bois Cook Center on Social Equality. It says single black women without a bachelor's degree, ages 20 through 39, have a net worth of $0. Single black women without a bachelor's degree, ages 40 through 59, have a net worth range of just $1,000 to $2,000. Single black women without a bachelor's degree, ages 60 plus, have a net worth of just $12,000. Now you know the narrative of today that black women are educated, they're the one with the most degrees. Here's the stat. Single black women with a bachelor's degree, ages 20 to 39, have a net worth range of negative 11,000 to zero. Now, the reason why I'm going to compare this with white women is because you have joined the feminist movement, and you thought by you doing that you will come out of the oppressiveness or the dominating hand from the black man. Well, single white women with a bachelor's degree, ages 20 to 39, have a net worth range of 3,400 to 7,500. Single white women with a bachelor's degree, ages 40 to 49, have a net worth of $25,000. Single white women with a bachelor's degree, ages 50 through 59, have a net worth of $117,500. It doesn't sound like that you benefited anything, black woman. It really does not sound like that you have benefited, because it doesn't make sense for you to say that they are your sisters in a way, but really they made sure that you stayed at the bottom. See, they gave you this false hope. They gave you this false hope, and they gave you this false idea. You have to remember, black woman, as to how this country treated you. They looked at you just like they looked at black men as 3/5 of a human being. Raped, tortured, beaten, murdered. They did the same exact thing to our black men. The very same. And when I was looking up trying to find the net worths for black men, I just find it odd as to how they have everything but that. They will show the negative numbers that black woman is in, but I don't see anything for black men. So I really, really, really had to find something, and I did. It was from I'm going to put this in the description, but it's taken from a March 27, 2010 article. And what it says here is that even though black men were seemingly not doing great with regards to holding on to personal wealth, black men with children of any age have a median net worth of $26,000 compared to $100 for similar black women. This was back in 2010. So just imagine now how higher it is. You see, you say that you're independent and you're educated, but you're in this debt versus black men, even with children, and I can guarantee without children is even higher. And then it goes to how right now black women is saying that black men don't have the money, black men cannot lead. Why is it that you say that black men don't have the money and they cannot lead and you're 18 to the ages of 30, but after 32, you finally see that black men does have the money and they can lead? Have you ever asked yourself that maybe, just maybe, the reason why you can't see it in that young age is because of this whorehouse culture that we are under? You listening to the voices of strangers out here? That's what you're doing. You're listening to the very people, the white feminists, who is an extension of white supremacy of their men. Because you got to remember, black women. White women teaches their sons white supremacy. So at the end of the day, they are the ones who have this embedded in their heart, in their mind, in their soul. They are only using you, black woman, just as a means to further push on their agenda. You're only the attack dog. That's all you are to these white feminists. So as far as you being independent, it does not show that you're independent, because if you were independent, you would have stopped from a long time ago following these white women. And then you also have to ask yourself, how is it that the white feminists, they say that their man was oppressive and that black man is oppressive, but white women still know to have a husband, to have a father in the household. Even if she gets a divorce, she still knows how to behave as a woman and find herself another husband to be remarried. Whereas our black woman, we are 76% that's not married. And we're miserable. You have to ask yourself these logical questions. How is it that they're still doing better than us when they say that their man is oppressing them and our man is oppressing them, but they're doing better? Even if you look at the national scale as far as what money is concerned, black women still at the bottom. You have black women, Hispanic women, Asian women, and white women. Don't forget, black women, that white women benefit 80% of affirmative action, which was designated for us because corporate America, which is why I really hate how we wanted to integrate, but that's another story, another topic. But that was meant for us because corporate America was not hiring black men and black women. That was to benefit us. Instead, do you know what you have received in return, black women? There are so many grants and so many programs that keeps you in the negative, that keeps you in the negative. There's called a website, singlemothersgrants.org, and there's also a singlemothersguide.com. And out of the one for the singlemothersgrant.org, with the helpful government assistance, here's something. You have welfare benefits, that's number 12 for single mothers. Rent assistance, number 13. Housing grant for single mothers. Child care assistance for single mothers. Number 16 is food stamps for single mothers. And you also have assistance. It says number 20, get help paying electric bills. 21, get help paying water bills. Also, there's the other document, single mother statistics, it says families headed by women of color fared even worse. Nearly 2 in 5, 38.8% of black female headed households live in poverty. This is what you have received, black women, for following these white feminists and pushing the black man out. Because remember, back to that article that I said, it was an archive from the New York Times, Breakup of Black Family Imperialist Gangs of Decades is what it's entitled. It's November 20th, 1983. And as to what it basically said, let me go back to it, which includes many members, quote, which includes many members of the Reagan administration, argues that the nation's welfare system has encouraged families to split up and has led to a state of welfare dependency for generation after generation of blacks. You see, that right there, by you accepting, if you know any black female that's accepting some form of assistance, but she is able-bodied, if she is able-bodied and she has the ability to work, but yet she does not, this is the ones I'm talking to. This is the ones that I am talking about. You are not independent. So don't say that, oh, here's another black woman that's bashing black women. Number one, I cannot be bashing you because I don't have my hands on you. So that, your argument right there is null and void. It is. If my hands is not on you, I'm not bashing you. The problem is that you have your ears closed to the truth. You don't see the underlying problem. What happened when we have left the civil rights movement to join the white feminists and to accept welfare. Okay, see, our black men have always seen, number one, black women, we do not know what it's like to be a black man in America. We do not know. And this goes into, when I hear other flightless birds like Kendra D likes to say, which I do love. When I hear of a flightless bird that says black men, even on a plantation, never protected their black woman from being raped, that made me angry. That made me very angry. I believe it was on Angry Man's, one of his 101s, and or Hangouts, one of them. And the only thing that I could think of is how when black men who was also being raped, tortured, and beaten and killed, he did everything in his power to protect what is his wife and his children. I don't know if you all remember the movie called The Butler. And in the beginning of it, Mariah Carey, she played one of the slaves, and the slave master's son, I believe, he came out to the field. He saw her, and he was grabbing her. The husband came to attack him. He shot him point blank in front of his son and in front of his wife, and he proceeded to carry her off and raped her. This took place time and time again during the plantation. Every time when our men went to go protect his wife or any other black woman, he was killed. So when I hear of a flightless bird that says something so degrading, Whenever a black man makes points and facts, you know what she does? She starts attacking his sexuality. She starts saying, oh, did you go over here and gobble this white man's genitalia? Did you go over here and do this and do that? You know, it must have felt good for you to have him bend you over. You are a race traitor when you do something like that, when you say something like that. You're toxic. For you to sit up and to say that you want to be against white supremacy, but you use white supremacy talk, you are toxic and you should be cut off. We have allowed too many house Negroes and bad wenches to run amok. For any black woman to say something like that, that is very demeaning, and especially to our black men. Our black men have persevered under so freaking much. And for us as black women to have abandoned our post, we have left our black children to be open for all type of assaults to happen. This is why we have cases where our children are being raped and things to that nature, because we have felt that our black man was not needed, so it was best to just leave him. It was best for us to just toss him to the side like he was nothing. But for some odd reason, black woman, after you done screwed the neighborhood community penis, you find that, oh, there are good black men. But see, you, the thing is, you don't know how to be a good black woman. This is why tomorrow I'm going to be talking about the roles of a woman and what a woman is supposed to do, what her purpose is, and how she is supposed to hold and handle her household. Like my mother taught me from a young age, and I clearly remember this conversation. She said, Erica, you are no longer a woman when you use your own hands to tear down your household. She said men, especially black men who have to go out in the world and face this systematic oppression, they're constantly targeted. And she said, I always worry if your father is going to make it home or not. The last thing he wants when he comes home is to quarrel with his wife. He should not feel that he wants to dwell on the roof of the house, and be inside of the house with his wife. That's when you lost it all, because the word woman means helper. It means compliment. You compliment your men. The minute that you turn against your men, the minute that you forget your role, the minute that you have forgotten your place, you're toxic and you're no longer a woman. You're just a different female that's out here in these streets, or a flightless bird. That's what you are. Now, there are other things. There was a post that I saw on my timeline when Serena Williams, she said that white men takes care of black women better than black men. That is a bold-faced lie. And I'm going to tell you why. White men, for centuries, mistreated us. For centuries, degraded us. For centuries, raped us. They still have that mindset. What she meant to say, and as well as other black women, is the monetary that she can gain. Now, see, the problem that I have with Serena Williams, she had good black men that wanted to marry her. She left them because she wanted some wannabe thug. But then after she gotten older, she was hitting that wall. No self-respecting black man will want a woman that's been ran through. So she's going to go to someone who may tolerate her for a while. And that's a white man. And let alone a white man who owned a website that was flooded with racist white men and women. So Number one, you disrespect your father who let you and your sister know how white men mistreated him and what they did to him. And then you go and you marry a man and have a child by a man who never checked racist individuals. Even when you was being portrayed as an angry black woman, the stereotype, he never checked anyone. Now, when average black woman says that about black men, she's only talking about money. It's because he won't give you the money right then and right now. So you say that, oh, when I go over and cross race, he's going to treat me better because he has the money. Well, of course he's going to treat you better. That's what the master did to the black slave, to the black woman slave. He gave her a cot. He gave her some of the better food. But every night he raped her, beat her, and tortured her. The wife, she turned around and beat you because the husband favored her. So me, my curse is knowing our history, and unfortunately, by a lot of our women not knowing our history and not teaching the history to their children, you have lost your ways and lost the mindset of how white men and white women or white supremacists think. And that's why you spew the same nonsense that they say. That's not being independent. That's being a follower. You have followed these people to your own calamity. You love to say that we are the backbone of the black community. Our community is destroyed. Again, by you not knowing how to be a woman, you couldn't raise your little girl on how to be a woman. By you definitely not having a man in the household, our boys was left to the street. Now, there are some single mothers out there, single black mothers out there who does their best, and certain situations occur. She was probably married, divorced, or probably raped, had a child. I'm not talking about you, but I'm talking about the vast majority of the ones that deliberately have these children by multiple men, I'm sorry, multiple simps who hangs on the street. Because see, to you in your mind, he's alpha because, again, that's what your mother portrayed to you. And all you're doing is just giving birth to more destruction. That is all you're doing is giving birth to more destruction. So I'm going to continue to talk about situations like this because I I have been a volunteer in my community on the west side of Chicago for 20 years. And I know that if you help at least 10, even more, it will multiply. So if you are a good, outstanding black woman, try to hook up with other black women that you know, meet with each other, encourage each other, and try to set the example for your neighbor. Try to set the example for other black women that's around you. If you have ratchet cousins and things of that nature, try to set a good example. Even though it may be hard, trust me, I know. I have a cousin who is exactly what I'm talking about. She's rotten. She is rotten to the core. And I told her that. I said, if our grandmother was alive, you would kill her alone by your action. Our black women, we are in a pitiful state. We are. This is why we're right now in 2019. We having so much that is thrown at us. But if our black women never left their posts as being wives and mothers, we will be able to take on these fires. And they will be squashed immediately, the problems that we're facing. Because see, our men, they are strong, yes. But he needs his helper. He needs the woman who compliments him, that's going to be there for him. And by us leaving that, we have everything is just destroyed. We see nothing but death around us. And you know what I find is odd is whenever there's a murder that took place of one of our young men, Why is it that the mothers, they can't shed a tear? Have you lost your way so much as a mother, as a woman, to be a nurturer, to be a protector, to be a comforter? Have you lost yourself that much that you cannot cry? Watch some of these news clips. You will see them make all the funny faces, but you don't see a tear. That's because we have lost what it is to be a woman. We have lost it that badly, and it is a shame. It is a shame. And the first thing you do is go set up a GoFundMe account. That's what you do. You go set up a GoFundMe account and say, okay, let's just wait. But see, if you was a nurturer, if you was a wife, you would have that emotion and you wouldn't feel the need to set up a GoFundMe. You wouldn't. You would be happier with yourself. And not only just that, would you be a lot happier? You will also have a little bit more money as well. You would be able to have finance, a savings account, stock options. You would have those things. Now, I know that there are probably some black women, those who may hear this or not, but that say, I'm on my grind. I already have this. I'm already making my money. I'm already doing this. I don't have any children. That's great. But what's your attitude? Can that man be around you? Can that woman be around you? That's the first thing you want to know. Can anybody be around you? You see, children are very innocent and they can tell if or not if you're bad or good. If a stranger can go up to you and be like, oh, I don't want to touch you or hug you, there's a problem because they will feel that vibe. So you could be making six figures. You could have the condo. You could have the nice house. But what's your attitude? Do you feel that you need to compete? Do you feel the need that you have to be competitive? Do you feel the need that, okay, I'm the one that's going to rule my way or the highway? Do you snap your fingers? Do you flick that weave of yours? Do you just feel that everyone around you is stupid? Because if you feel that type of way, you're going to be single for the rest of your life, and you're going to end up entrapping a simp because your biological clock is coming. You're going to talk about the men that you don't want to be around, but you end up getting pregnant by them. That's what your future is going to be. And then you're going to fit that negative stereotype of an angry single baby mother. You're going to become another statistic. That's all you're going to become. And you're not going to be able to leave a nice legacy behind for your offspring. That's not the type of life that you want, black woman. You need to get back to where you were because you really aligned yourself to be enemies to our black men. There's a reason why black men is saying, forget it. I remember listening to a broadcast that Angry Man said that good black women are like unicorns, and he's right. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. So for a black man, instead of trying to search for that needle in the haystack, he's just going to go over here to a cabinet that's full of needles and just pick one up and go about his way. That's all he's going to do. Like, you know what? I don't have time for it. That is something that you really have to look at, black woman. You have to really ask yourself, what is it that I am doing that is causing black men to turn away from me? What is it that you are doing? Do you shame black men because he doesn't want to be with with a black woman, with children? Do you shame black men who doesn't want to be with a black woman who's over 250 pounds? Do you shame black men who works in some form of construction or who works some form of union job? Do you shame him? You see, black woman, you pass up a lot of good black men because of that. He may have on his work boots or something like that, but you don't know that he could be making 80 to 6 figures himself, even though his nails may be dirty or things of that nature. My aunt's husband was like that. The dirty nails. He worked at some printer company. The dirty nails, looking all scratchy and everything. But the man was making $110,000 a year handling his business. You see, you chase good black men away because you have this high expectation. You see, you think that you could put on this air like white woman and get a man. It doesn't work that way. Because see, even though white women put on this air that they don't need a man, once that camera goes off, when they on their everyday grind, they know how to be ladylike. And they don't care what type of job he has. As long as she sees that he is a provider, he's going to protect her, he is a lover and a friend, she's going to follow suit. Black woman, you're doing just the opposite. See, in your mind, you think by having a black guy or a thug or a simp, he's supposed to be there whenever you call. It doesn't work that way. You have to be worthy of protection. You have to be worthy of something. So just because you say you're educated, just because you have this nice 6 figure job, just because you have this condo or house, just because you have this nice flashy car, that does not guarantee you a man. And if you get you a white man, he's going to have slave sex with you. And you're going to be like these other black women who were swirlers, and they sit up and say, he mistreated me, he called me a nigger bee, he did this and he did that, and then now you want to come back to the black fold. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. You have done yourself a disfavor by just omitting black men. Now, I know that there are black men who does venture out. I really much don't care for it, but guess what? I can understand the reason why our black women have stopped being women. You're trying to be the masculine when you're not. You're supposed to be feminine. Okay? You are supposed to be feminine. You're supposed to be sweet. Yes, you're supposed to be strong. But yet you're supposed to still be a woman. You should be the helper. You should be the compliment. You're supposed to be there to compliment him. Because guess what? When you do all those things, he is readily going to be there for you no matter what. Why? Because he has an anchor. And that's you, his wife. I saw a post the other day, and it's called Trying to Be Wifey, and it had a nice looking black girl on it, and there was a group of black couples, they was kissing, and a lot of black women were saying, oh, how I wish to be that. But when you look at their page, you see them got their tongues out, they got their butt sticking out, they got all that other type of stuff. That's a major turnoff to a good black man. See, a black man or a man in general, he would take care of you spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, monetarily. He would take care of you in those things. He would protect you. But the moment that you put yourself out there, you have these little animated features, you cuss like a sailor, you just behave in a derogatory way, he is not going to want to look at you. If he does look at you, he will only look at you in sexual favors and be gone. And he will be gone. Because it's like you're not worth his time. And you cannot blame him for that. You cannot blame him for that at all. So hopefully with this channel, uh, it would be able to help some of our black women. But I will say this, yes, this is my first one. Tomorrow I will be talking about the roles of a woman. And I'm really going to go further in on black feminists. So I will say I'm going to say this. If you're very sensitive, try to gain a thick skin tonight, because I am going to go harder. Because black women have been protected for so long that anytime you critique them, they get offended, they're ready to fight, and they have a lot of black women and a lot of simps to protect them. If anyone who is unprotected is our black boys, our black teenagers, and our black men. They are the ones that's not protected. So tomorrow, it's going to be about the roles of a woman. Hopefully what I have said, you could be able to learn something. Hopefully it's something that you could reflect upon yourself. That is the whole purpose. That is the whole purpose. When you are a black nationalist, you're going to do better for your community. You're going to help educate your offspring. You are going to help build wealth in your community. You are going to fight for your community. You are going to protect your black men, black women, and your black children. That is the whole point of this channel, because it is something that is needed. And I am so happy that I had the encouragement from beautiful black sisters. Beautiful black sisters like Nicole, Brittany, the young lady Asia, who I was on a broadcast with. Beautiful, beautiful sisters. There are plenty of black women out there who wants to see our people do better, who is for black progress. I am for black progress. And there needs to be more of us black women who still knows how to be a woman, who still knows how to be a lover, who still knows how to be her husband's best friend, who still know how to submit but yet be independent. Because see, submit, that's something that you do willfully. That is something that you do willfully. You're not a slave. Because when you submit to a good man, you cannot do anything wrong. Nothing can go wrong. It's going to be lovely. Yes, you're going to have your problems, but you are in a better position to resolve those problems. And that is something that we have to look at. So I do hope that everyone has enjoyed this content tonight, so that you could be able to see what I was bringing out. Go right ahead and copy the URL. I'm sorry, go ahead and copy the website and place it in your URL, and maybe you can learn something. Have a good one.